The father cat's last gift. In the heart of a bustling city, where the sounds of car horns and the hum of traffic filled the air, there lived a hard-working father cat named Tom and his young son, Sam. Tom was a tall, lean tabby with fur that had lost some of its shine from years of hard work and stress. Despite the challenges, Tom never complained. He loved his son, Sam, more than anything in the world and was determined to provide for him, no matter what. Tom worked all sorts of jobs to make ends meet. He worked as a janitor in a tall office building during the early mornings, sweeping the floors and emptying the trash cans. In the afternoons, he delivered newspapers in a part of the city where the buildings were stacked so close together that sunlight barely touched the ground. In the evenings, he would help unload boxes at a local store, his muscles aching but his spirit never breaking. Yet, despite all his efforts, there was always a shortage. The rent was high, groceries were expensive, and there were always unexpected expenses. Sam was a lively, cheerful kitten with big blue eyes and a soft, fluffy coat. He didn't have much, but he was content. He spent his days at school and his afternoons playing with his friends in the small park near their apartment. One day, while walking back from school, Sam saw a beautiful red toy car in a shop window. It was shiny and new, with black racing stripes down the side. Sam's eyes widened with excitement. He pressed his face against the glass, imagining what it would be like to have that car and how much fun he would have zooming it around their tiny apartment. When Tom saw how much his son wanted the toy car, his heart ached. He wished he could buy it for Sam right then and there, but he knew he didn't have the money. That night, after tucking Sam into bed, Tom sat at the kitchen table, counting the few coins he had left. With a deep sigh, he realized he needed to work even harder if he wanted to buy that car for his son. Over the next few weeks, Tom took on extra shifts and worked late into the night. He picked up a part-time job at a local restaurant, washing dishes after his evening shift at the store. He barely got any sleep, but he didn't mind. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the joy on Sam's face when he would finally be able to give him the toy car. One day, after weeks of hard work and saving, Tom finally had enough money to buy the toy car. He left work a little earlier than usual and hurried to the shop, his heart pounding with excitement. He bought the red car, the one Sam had been dreaming about, and had it carefully wrapped in bright blue paper with a red ribbon. Holding the gift tightly in his paws, Tom couldn't wait to get home and see the look on Sam's face. As Tom made his way back home, the sun was setting, casting a warm orange glow over the city. He walked quickly, his heart full of joy and pride. The streets were busy with people rushing to get home, cars honking as they moved through the traffic. Tom had to cross a busy street to get to their apartment. He waited patiently at the crosswalk, looking both ways. When the light turned green, he stepped off the curb and began to cross. But in a split second, everything changed. A speeding car came out of nowhere, racing through the red light. Tom barely had time to react. The car hit him with a loud thud, throwing him to the ground. The gift he had been holding flew out of his paws and landed a few feet away, the bright blue wrapping paper torn and dirty. The driver, shocked, slammed on the brakes and jumped out of the car. People on the street gasped and rushed over to help. Sam, who had been waiting for his father to come home, heard the commotion from their apartment window. He ran outside, his little heart racing, fear gripping him tightly. When Sam saw his father lying on the ground, tears streamed down his face. He pushed through the crowd and knelt beside Tom, grabbing his paw. "Dad, please, wake up," he cried, his voice shaking with fear and sadness. Tom's eyes fluttered open, and he looked at his son, a weak smile forming on his lips. He could barely speak, but he managed to whisper, "I'm sorry, Sam. I wanted to give you the world. I love you so much." Sam held his father's paw tightly, tears falling onto Tom's fur. "I love you too, Dad. Please don't leave me," he sobbed. Tom's eyes closed for the last time, his paw slipping from Sam's grip. The crowd around them grew silent, their hearts breaking for the little kitten who had just lost his father. A kind woman from the crowd picked up the toy car, its wrapping now torn and dirty, and handed it to Sam. "This was for you," she said softly, tears in her own eyes. Sam took the car, holding it close to his chest, his tears soaking into the red paint. He knew how hard his father had worked to buy it for him, and it would always be a reminder of his father's love and sacrifice. In the days that followed, the city came together to support Sam. Neighbors brought food, offered to help, and shared stories of Tom's kindness and hard work. Though he was gone, Tom's memory lived on in the hearts of all who knew him, especially in the heart of his beloved son, Sam. And so, in the bustling city where life never seemed to slow down, the story of Tom, the hard-working father cat who gave everything for his son, would be told for years to come. And every time Sam played with the little red toy car, he would remember his father's love and the sacrifices he made, and he would feel a little less alone in the big, busy world.